Could humans survive a global ant uprising? Imagine waking up one morning and the ground beneath your feet is alive billions of ants swarming, moving as one, a force of nature that suddenly turns against humanity. This is not just science fiction. This is a question that scientists, survivalists, and curious minds have asked for decades. Could humans actually survive if ants rose up together in a global uprising? To answer this, we need to look at the hidden biology of ants, their secret powers, and compare them to us, to other animals, and finally speculate on what would really happen if their small but mighty bodies decided to turn against us. And by the end, you will be left with an unsettling paradox that will stick with you long after ants are not ordinary insects. They are superorganisms. That means a colony of ants does not function like individuals, but more like a single living creature made up of millions of small bodies. Each ant plays a role: workers, soldiers, queens, scouts. And together, they act like cells in one giant body. Their communication is not spoken language. It is chemistry. Pheromones, invisible signals that tell them where to march, when to fight, how to sacrifice. And this system is so perfect that human armies still cannot match the discipline and coordination of an ant colony. This is the core secret biology most people don't know. An ant colony can act like a brain, a heart, and an army. All at once. If we compare ants to other animals, the numbers become terrifying. Ants make up an estimated 20% of the total biomass of land animals on Earth. That means for every human, there are about 1.5 million ants together. They weigh more than all humans combined. Imagine if every ant turned hostile at once. Their sheer number would dwarf any weapon. We have lions may be strong, elephants may be massive, but ants, despite their size, are nature's hidden army. United, tireless, and impossible to bribe or scare. The strength of a single ant seems small, but think deeper. An ant can carry 10 to 50 times its own weight. That is the equivalent of a human lifting a car above their head. And when ants combine their strength, multiplies fire. Ants can build living rafts to float across rivers. Army ants can form bridges with their bodies. Carpenter ants can chew through solid wood. Leafcutter ants can strip entire trees overnight. Now imagine this, not in a forest corner, but scaled up across cities, roads and power grids, highways, covered cars, disabled homes, invaded food supplies, destroyed in hours. If this uprising happened, humans would not face just a pest, but an unstoppable moving ecosystem. But humans are not defenseless. Our weapon is technology. We can spray, burn, freeze, and invent. And for a while, this might work. Pesticides, flamethrowers, controlled explosions. But here's the biological twist. Ants evolve fast. They adapt. They develop resistance. They split into castes, and even if you kill millions, the queen sits underground, laying thousands more to destroy ants entirely. You would need to kill every queen in every nest across the entire planet. And that is nearly impossible. Some queens can live 30 years, hidden meters underground, protected by soldier walls of living flesh. They are like immortal generals waiting out our counterattacks. If we apply this to a real-world hypothesis, what if tomorrow ants turned aggressive globally? First, they would target our food crops, would vanish. Storage would be infiltrated. Famine would follow. Then infrastructure would collapse. Ants inside power stations, inside machines. Short-circuiting electronics. Armies and governments might try to wage war. But you cannot bomb the ground everywhere. You cannot poison the earth without poisoning yourself. Ants would spread faster than fire, and in a matter of weeks, humanity would be on survival mode. Yet let us not underestimate ourselves. Humans have imagination. We build fortresses. We invent chemistry that ants cannot resist. We engineer barriers. We adapt with armor and sealed environments. And some scientists argue that our best weapon is not to kill ants, but to manipulate them. If ants rely on pheromones, humans could potentially hack those signals, send false trails, confuse their armies, turn their unity into chaos. But would we be fast enough before they stripped the planet bare? The parallel here is haunting. Ants are like us. They wage war. They enslave other insects. They farm fungi. They herd aphids like cattle. They sacrifice soldiers for the colony. They even conduct organized raids. In a sense, ants are humanity in miniature, just much more disciplined and much more numerous. If they rebelled, it would be like fighting a mirror image of ourselves, except one that never sleeps, never questions orders, and never surrenders. Think about the paradox: humans, with our intelligence and tools, may be the giants of the earth. But beneath our feet lives an empire far older, far larger, and far more organized than our civilizations. Ants have survived asteroid impacts, ice ages, and countless predators. And here we are wondering if we could survive them. The truth is unsettling. Perhaps the only reason we have survived at all is because ants simply have not chosen to rise against us. So could humans survive a global ant uprising? Maybe for a time with technology, with cunning, with brutal force. But in the long run, the real answer is that survival would not depend on strength or weapons. It would depend on whether the ants allow us to remain. And that leaves us with a chilling paradox. The most powerful species on Earth may not be us, but the smallest. And our survival is not guaranteed by our dominance, but by their silence.